Hey guys, we've been putting up videos for the last, year and a half or almost 2 years. Some of you might have followed us right from the very beginning, and other people you might have just subscribed. So we thought, now that we're traveling again as a family of 4, that it'd be a good time just to reintroduce us and maybe just tell you a bit about ourselves, because a lot of times you just see us in the van, but maybe you don't know where we're from or how we met or how Cedar came into our lives, like how we decided on that, or about Caden, our dog. So we can maybe just answer our own questions, and then also below this video we'll just ask you to ask us questions. Anything that you guys are interested in. It can be about the van or us or Cedar or whatever. Anything, we don't mind answering anything really. So
yeah, we can maybe do a Q&A later on with all your questions. Yeah. And try to address all of the things that you guys are wondering about us. Yeah.
So I can kind of go first, just a brief description of who I am. That's well, yeah. So anyway, my name is Adam and I'm from Nova Scotia. I come from a little town there of about 5,000 people. It's called Antigonish. I grew up there my whole life, and my mom grew up there her whole life, and I think I'm a probably 3rd or 4th generation Canadian. I'm super Canadian now.
And Antigonish is actually where we had Cedar, so we were there for a couple months while we had him and afterwards. So.
And where are you from?
That's his birthplace too. Yeah. And I'm Vanessa, and I'm from, well, I was born in Thunder Bay, so I grew up partially in Thunder Bay, and then also in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, so in Ontario and in Saskatchewan. And I've kind of lived all over, and we have also lived all over
Canada.
Country. Yeah, we've lived in BC, we've lived in Saskatchewan, Ontario, Nova Scotia. We've kind of done cross-to-cross country trips a few times. Yeah. Which is part of why we decided to move into the van, actually, because we were traveling so much and so often for school or work or anything like that, that we decided we needed to be like turtles and kind of carry our home on our back. And so we started looking at different options. I don't know if you can hear that, but
they definitely heard that.
Cedar's for sure pooping right now.
Continue the video, quick.
Yeah, so we started looking at different options on what to do and how we could kind of carry our home with us, because it's so expensive to set up shop every time. Yeah. And so we started looking at RVs and buses, and then finally settled on a van. Yeah.
And, well, Vanessa lived on the other side of the country, and Canada's huge, so it's quite the distance. But we ended up meeting in Halifax, Nova Scotia, because at the time we were both going to school there. We didn't have any mutual friends. It was just a total random meeting where we both were,
Nothing.
We both were at a bar, and I was with my group of friends, Vanessa was with hers, and then the short version is one of her friends kind of spun Vanessa around and pushed her into me. So I was dancing, doing my own thing with my friends, and then Vanessa kind of ran into me, and then we started dancing, and then we exchanged phone numbers. But back in the day, cell phones, you didn't know exactly how they worked. It was 12 years ago, 11 years ago. So then I thought I put the phone number in right. When I got home, it was gone. So I said, well, that's it. But then Vanessa called me the next day, because you put it in your phone, right?
Yeah, and on the way home, because we were having a girls' night with myself and some friends, and we were debating on how long we should wait to call you. Yeah. So everyone just decided that 24 hours was a good limit.
Yeah, so you called me the next day, yeah. And then, we started dating, and we were engaged after a year, and then married after 2, I guess.
So this August is our 10-year wedding anniversary, and September will be 12 years together. Yeah.
And then, the extreme, for those 10 years, I guess, the really short version is we were both finishing up, Vanessa was finishing up her undergrad and then her master's in environmental management at a couple different schools across the country. Yeah. And then I was doing different work in construction and then owning my own painting business for a few years. So we ended up moving. I think I counted that we moved whether it was within a city or across the country, we moved like 8 times in 6 years, or something. And then we saw people that, like Vanessa said, live this kind of lifestyle. And then we ended up renovating a house, flipping it, buying the van, building it, and now we have Cedar. No.
Hitting the road and...
Hitting the road for a year and then deciding to have a baby.
And yeah, I think part of that too, like deciding to have a baby or grow our family or whatever, however you want to call that, was that like we were so busy with work and business and things like that, that we didn't, for a long time, there were other things that we wanted to do than have kids. They were like more, I guess, more of a priority, traveling and work and everything like that. So it didn't make sense to have a child at that point. But then once we got on the road and we actually had time to pursue our interests and more time, like we realized that we had more personal time, that we wanted to then have a kid, because Adam wanted to be part of everything.
Yeah, like, I was way too busy. Yeah, the dad that just worked all the time and wasn't around, because at the time, like with my own business, I was working like, and you guys can relate too, that I was working 60, 70 hours between like physical work and doing the books and like estimates and whatever. So, you know, it's good pay, but you're trading off. So I didn't want to be the absentee dad. I wanted to be there all the time, especially when he's so young. So right now as we're shooting this video, we're in Florida for a month or so, and then this next year is, well, we're kind of all over the place in North America. Like we're heading back up to Canada to do his healthcare stuff, like immunizations and that, and then we're traveling across the country. We're going to be speaking at an event in Idaho and probably going to be in British Columbia for a while. So if anybody's on the road, or you know, if we're going to be passing through your area, you can just keep track of where we are and definitely reach out. We do stop in, or at least like have a coffee or sit down with people that want to hang out or want to see the van, or like now people just want to see Cedar when we're walking around. We just disappear and like old ladies will come out and be like, oh, you have a baby, and it's like, well, we exist as well. But yeah, that's like the gist of it anyway. And like I said, like, if they have any other questions, then ask away, and then we'll do a proper Q&A of what you guys want to know about. Like there already are some questions that people have about van life with a baby and things like that, so we definitely will be including that in a Q&A. But if there's anything specific that you want to know about van life or traveling, or I mean, we've only been on the road with him for a week now, so we're not experts in traveling with a baby at the moment, but we are definitely in the crash course of that. Yeah, and it's working out great so far. Like he travels as well as can be expected for a 3-month-old, and and then we had some downtime. We'll be able to play and go to the beach and that. So we're gonna do a lot more of that, and we travel at a much slower pace than we did before, which is great. So, right? Yeah. And now that we're on the road, again, we're going to be putting out content more consistently, so make sure you check in with us. You can hit the notification bell, subscribe, like, share with anybody you think that would enjoy our content as well.
All right. See you on the next one.
Bye.